Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 2 WNBA games here on Friday. I'm going to be taking a look at both of them. Got some insights and data that you need to help you get your bets down here on Friday as well. A'ja Wilson not going to be playing for the Aces, or at least is doubtful right now, so not likely going to be playing. I'll show you who does step up when she is off court right now for the Aces and get into some of those bets as well. So if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Very nice day there on Wednesday. Had a break off on the W on Thursday, but little 5-0 to get 4.8 units there. Nice bets that I am very happy with right now. Kelsey Plum played the Aces under 20.5 points. She really needs to get 4 threes made in order to get her 20 points or so. Has now 5 games where she has failed to hit 4 threes on the season. All 5 of those games under 20 points. We'll keep looking at that when she plays against good 3-point defenses like the Aces definitely are right now. Gabby Williams continues to get disrespected with 21.5 PRA. I have her projected consistently at 24.5 PRA if she is playing 30 minutes, and she's playing high 30s, much less 30 minutes right now, most of the game for Gabby Williams. And the coaching staff in Seattle has said multiple times already this season that Gabby Williams is going to be an important part of this offense, and her usage has continued to go up as she's gotten healthier this year and stayed out of foul trouble as well. So we're going to keep looking for Gabby. In that same game, had 3 plays for the Lynx players. Alana Smith, I still think we're getting value for her to get 10 plus points when her prop is at 9.5, because she's playing a lot more minutes. Last year, really tough to nail down if she was going to play 28 minutes, if she was going to play 8 minutes at times, right? There were some games where she barely made it to 15 minutes a lot. So now we've seen her play consistently high 20s, low 30s, had 37 minutes in this game because the Seattle Storm are good down low. So she was needed out there to guard players like Ezzie McBeggar, like Nneka Ogwumike, and she did a great job. And she stayed out there for 37 minutes, got the shots, and we're going to continue to like her to get 10 plus when we can bank on her getting minutes because she's playing good teams with good bigs. Nafisa, her shit was low, man. She was at 34.5 PRA. She's averaging closer to 39 on the season, about 39 exactly, actually. I don't know why it was so low, other than that she played Seattle earlier in May of this season, and had gone under because she only got 16 points. But I wasn't scared of that in this one. I mean, there's really no player or team that I feel like can stop Nafisa this season. When they play the Liberty, that's the toughest matchup. But other than that, I don't care who she's playing. If you give me a low number on her props, I'm going to be going over. Kayla McBride in the midst of a hot streak right now. I was happy to ride the wave. And again, we can bank on her similar to Smith and Collier. More Smith. Collier is going to play as much as she needs to whenever. But for Smith and McBride, the coaching staff will give them a rest when they're playing poor teams. They were playing the Storm. They actually lost this game. McBride was on fire, took 7 threes. And if you're going to give me plus money for her to make 3 when she's averaging about 7 attempts, I'm going to go with that for McBride consistently. So if you do want to jump in, don't miss any of the plays that I'm making here in the WNBA. Check out the link in the description. Got the season pass going so you can get a nice little discount. Avoid the monthly fees here. Get yourself in for a one-time fee, and then go ahead and just get all the plays I've got, plus access to the chat in there as well. So hope to see you guys in there. But let's go ahead and jump into this first game. I'm actually going to go with the later game for starters and get into the Aces and the Wings. And the reason I wanted to start with this game is because I don't think A'ja is going to play. She's doubtful after leaving that last game early. A bad loss, by the way, to the Sparks. Now 2 in a row for the Aces that they've dropped. But the difference here with A'ja on court, off court this season, pretty telling, right? When she's on court, 100.4 O rating, 97.5 D rating, and a 47.5% rebound percentage for this squad. By the way, they're basically the worst rebounding team in the league right now, and I don't know if it's going to get better without A'ja on the court. Although I will say Kia Stokes has maintained a really high rebound percentage and has helped them on defense down low as well. So if Kia Stokes is going to be the one starting, and she will be, and playing more minutes now without A'ja, the offense might suffer a bit more, but the defense should be close to what it was because of how good she is. Now, at the same time, what's going to be really important here is who does better without A'ja. And there's 2 players that are going to stand out tremendously in this game. First one being Chelsea Gray. If you look at her on the season now, whenever she's been out there without A'ja, there's 41 minutes total that she's played this season without A'ja Wilson out there, 28 points in 41 minutes, a 33% usage rate. Her and Jackie Young are it. These are the 2 that are going to be having the ball in their hands. Jackie even more impressive than Chelsea right now when she's played without A'ja Wilson. 32 minutes, 32 points, 35% usage rate. And she's averaging about 1.4 points per possession. Imagine if you were scoring a point per possession on average. Pretty damn good, right? So I think we're going to see Jackie, Chelsea, they're going to have the ball in their hands a ton. You might think Jewel Lloyd is a good look here. 10% usage rate when she's on the floor without A'ja Wilson. So it doesn't really step up much. These are the 2 that I'm going to be banking on overs for. Let's jump into these player props right now. I mentioned Jackie Young with the point per minute. I think you can take her on the points. I also think you can take her on the PRA finally with the amount that she's going to have the ball in her hands. But the points still look the best. Even at 19.5, she's at 18 on the season with or without Asia. And now we're taking Wilson out for this entire game. She's basically at, like I said, 36 points per 36 minutes, right? 1 point per minute for her. I think she should be good for 20 against this Wings defense, which, as we know, is terrible. They are going to be 11th in defensive rating. If you're looking at the way that they defend the perimeter, not good. They do defend the pick and roll ball handler very well. But Jackie, with the ball, without the ball, it's going to be a lot more Chelsea Gray, I imagine, on ball, passing out over to Jackie Young consistently. I think the threes are probably a good look for her, but I think the ball is going to be in her hands and Chelsea's hands so much that it's pretty obvious where I'm going. And I'm taking the points for her. I think Chelsea Gray is probably also good for the points. Don't mind the threes because she only needs to make 2, and she's averaging 2.5. She continues to get disrespected on the 3-point shot as well with the amount of attempts she's taking. 6 for 11 in the last game, 2 for 4, 2 for 3, 4 for 7. The key here is about 5 to 6 3-point attempts per game for Chelsea Gray right now. So for her to make 2, I think we're still getting a great number at minus 125, but also don't have any problem with the points for her. 13.5, she's been on one, and I expect her to get up to another about 13, 14 shots with Asia out in this one. I want to bet on Jewell Loyd. I really do. I mean, I still have the memories of Jewell Loyd being as good as she has been the last couple seasons, and I just can't get them out of my mind. And then I go back here and I look at her barely scoring double-digit points in 3 of just 8 games that she even has 10 points, much less 16 that she needs in this one. So the books are banking on things opening up for her and her sort of increasing her usage, not maybe just standing in the corner. Look at, I mean, the fact that she has a quarter of her shots taken from the corner. And this is one of the premier up top ball handler scorers. And she can't even get that many shots off except for out in the corner. It's just different for her this year than it's been for Jewell Loyd. I can't condone an over for her, and I still have to lean on the under, even with an easy matchup, even with Asia not likely to play, still probably too high for this year's version of Jewell Loyd. If anybody has seen Arike Ogunbowale anywhere and like the real one, please, we need to file a missing persons report because she does not look the same outside of a few games. So I can't bet on her once again when this defense has been really, really good up top. They've been really, really good against spot-up shooters. That's about it, by the way, for the Aces. Hasn't been awesome on defense for them, but good enough on the perimeter, especially where they're about a top 5 defense limiting guards overall. So I can't really feel good about Arike's points in this game, but I can feel pretty good about a bet for Paige. And for Paige Buchers, it's actually not the points, although, again, she's taking so many shots. What'd she take on her 34 5-point outburst? She took 19 shots last game. So I still feel pretty good about Paige, but having the ball in her hands, putting the shots up, but I think the best value is actually on the boards here for this one. Not only is she at about 5 boards per game, this is the worst, like I said, the most rebounds allowed to the other team, that's the Aces, and the most rebounds allowed to point guards, also the Aces for Paige and company. So I think Paige is going to have another nice game on the boards here without Asia. Also expect a few more threes probably going up with some longer rebounds on those misses, which will land out there with Paige, who's standing a little further from the basket. So I think the rebounds rather are the best look for her. The assists are a little bit high. The points are beatable as well at 16.5. If you wanted to take a PR, I'm with it, but mostly the rebounds are what I'm looking at in this game against the Aces for Buchers. As we get into this next game here with the Dream and the Sky, I wanted to take a quick break and just let you guys know where I'm at with the WNBA season, why it's been relatively difficult to nail down some player props and consistency in betting the WNBA. We're still up a couple units after just a few days worth of betting on this stuff, but the thing about the WNBA is it doesn't have the same sort of reliability in the stats, doesn't have the same patterns that pop up where when this player plays against this type of defense, it's a good matchup, etc. And there's a few reasons for that. We don't have the same level of in-depth data for the WNBA as we do for the NBA. We don't get that player tracking data. We don't get assists, potential assists, rebound chances. We don't get who's guarding whom for how long during the game. We don't get touches. We don't get any of that stuff. We don't get real drives or any of that really advanced data that we need that helps us so much in the NBA when it comes to the matchups. The other thing here is we don't have as many teams. So being third best versus being seventh best at something might be like a point or a half of an assist or a half of a rebound or whatever. So it's not like there's a big difference between the first or the third team and the 8th team, right? In terms of the rankings when it comes to different stats, that's harder to gauge as well. Then the last thing is here, we're not even getting the same amount of prop markets. I mean, look at the amount of players that we're getting for each team. 3 for the Sky, 4 for the Dream that they'll actually give us to bet on. There's going to be more bets on Ben Shepherd and Isaiah Joe in the finals here versus the best players in the WNBA. Like Brittany Griner is not going to get close to the same amount of bets as Ben Shepherd is going to get in this game for the NBA Finals. That's because we don't have the markets, man. They won't give us stuff for the backups because it's probably not enough of a market for that. People aren't betting on the backups. They're not betting on the fifth best player on these WNBA teams. And the people setting these lines don't even know who these people are, right? I would guarantee you that the people who are helping set the lines for the WNBA are not the best at it in the world or in the country. So it's going to be tough to keep getting these lines, but we're going to do our best here. And it's going to help us play the number a little bit more. So take Alicia Gray, great example. 17.5 points is her prop, but she's averaging 20.4. On the assists, 3.5 is the number. She's averaging 4.4. Rebounds, this is probably accurate, 5.5, and she's averaging 5.3, but we're still getting plus 130 for her to get that. There's some places with 4.5. Why are we getting so much value here? Especially when we're talking about one of, if not the worst defense in the league here. They're ranked 12th are the Sky. They give up everything you could want. If you look at the points, especially look at their charts, they're awful from everywhere. The worst or second worst or third worst in every category and every spot on the floor and pretty much every single play type, right? Like there's all this green for the matchup for Alicia Gray for a reason. So rather than overthink this, PRA is at 27.5 and the points are at 17. Like I'm good with all of it. I take an over on the points, the PRA, the PR, the PA. It's just too low, and she's been hooping. The volume has been there, the usage has been there, and she's playing a lot better than Ryan Howard, who I would love to bet on. I have so much respect for Howard's game, and I can't get there with her because of how inconsistent she's been this season. Points. Assists, okay, but Jordan Canada is going to start to ramp up her minutes a little bit more, so that makes me stay away from the assists for Ryan Howard. And then on the boards, also just really inconsistent, man, and they've got this stuff really high for her, way higher than Alicia Gray's stuff, which is wild considering how much better Gray has been playing than Howard. So when you have to pick between one of these two guards, especially in this game, even though it's an easy matchup for both of them, I'm going to go back to Alicia Gray, and I'm probably going to stick with her more consistently because she's been the one keeping the volume of her stats really, really high. Next bet here, Brittany Griner. Griner is a similar look in terms of Alicia Gray. Like this is too low, 5.5 or plus money. This has already gotten bet down. It opened at like 5.5 or plus 130, which is absolutely absurd. And now she's got this back to plus 104. I'm still good with that, man. And now here's an interesting part about this for her. The Sky are third best limiting rebounds total on the season to any position, but they're second worst limiting rebounds to forwards, or to centers rather, not forwards. Obviously Griner's the center. Second to worst limiting center rebounds, but third best limiting rebounds overall. That's a crazy stat, man. And that also means that the center is probably getting a good amount of rebounds if they're second worst while still only giving up the third fewest rebounds. It's a wild stat, but this is where I'd go. The only thing that kind of scares me about Griner is, do they want to continue to give her more rest in a game they may not need her that much? Because the Sky are terrible. One of the worst teams in recent memory in the WNBA, to be honest. They just got completely thrashed by the Liberty by nearly 40 points for some of that game. So there's a possibility that the Dream, who are supposed to be at least a much better team than the Sky, come out and wax them. I'm not ready to do that yet. I think we can still take this, even if Griner played. I mean, look, she played 15 minutes rather in the last game, still had 4 boards. You get that up to 25 minutes, another 10 for her should get you to about 7. And we have this at 5.5 or plus money. So love the boards for her. Brianna Jones, everything is low for her. And the only reason I could think of for that, though, is if you look at the way that the Sky play against forwards, especially because Angel Reese is so good, well, they're really good, right? They are third best limiting points to forwards. They're actually number 1 in the league limiting rebounds to forwards. And that's what you bank on for Brianna Jones, is that she's going to get some boards. She's going to do well down low in the post to score. If you look at the play type stuff for this team, they are number 1 for Chicago, limiting post-up points, right? That is one place that they're good with Cardoso and Angel Reese. And Brianna Jones does post up a ton, getting nearly half her points, or I guess nearly a third of her points, rather. 28% of her points coming off of the post-up play. Not a good matchup for her, and that's why her props are lower than her season averages. Plus, we might get a bit more Brittany Griner than we've seen recently, and that would also eat into Brianna Jones's stuff. Not really messing with Ariel Atkins, super inconsistent, would be going under on her with a very good perimeter defense. Angel Reese, though, this is another interesting look here, because if you look at the Dream, they're number 1 in terms of limiting rebounds overall in the season, yet they are 10th, right? Third worst or so limiting rebounds to forwards, which is Angel Reese's position. I got to go over on the boards. When are you going to see plus money for Angel Reese to do the one thing she does super well and get plus money for it against a team that is bad at limiting rebounds specifically to her position, in part because the strength of the rebounding comes from players like Brittany Griner, obviously. But Angel Reese in a good spot to get the boards. Don't know if I trust her on the points once she does get the board, but I trust her to get down there and bang down low with the Dream, who, like I said, 10th in terms of limiting rebounds to her position, should be in for another big rebounding game. And interestingly, Cardoso would be the fade here as well, because if you look at the way that this Dream team limits rebounds to centers, that's where they're number one, right? And that's the big reason for why they're number one overall limiting rebounds is the center position struggles to get those boards against a player like Griner. But I think Angel Reese should be, shifty enough, especially to be able to get boards against Brianna Jones on Friday night. All right, y'all, that is all the time I have for you in this one. Don't forget to still have that season pass available for you for the WNBA. Get you a nice discount on all the picks I'm going to be making this season. So hope to see you guys in there. Until I do, happy betting.